Hi guys! Welcome to week 6 of the Conversion Hacking Challenge. So this week, this is the last week of the challenge, and so we've already covered everything from the beginning to almost the end of your site, everything on the home page, above the fold, the catalog pages, the product detail pages, and now we are to literally the last step of your site where your consumers and your customers make that final purchase. So today we're going to be talking about your cart and your checkout process. Basically, the cart is that last step. You obviously know that. That is where your customers end up and finalize that purchase. And a lot of people think that the cart really isn't that important because once somebody puts something into their cart, you think, that's it. That's the last thing you want them to do. But actually, the last thing you want them to do is to complete that purchase, to click buy now, complete this purchase. So there are a lot of things that you can do to your cart and your checkout to drive more completions. As many as like over 80% of people abandon their carts on some stores. Almost every e-commerce website has some sort of cart or checkout abandonment issue. And so we're going to address that today with helping you focus on optimization techniques to help shoppers feel more comfortable and ready to finalize a purchase, eliminate barriers to purchase, and prod users to make the purchase decision more quickly. So, the first optimization that we are going to walk through this week is the sidebar cart. So this is a really simple thing to put onto your store, and a lot of online stores are putting these on nowadays. Basically what it is when your customer clicks add to cart, instead of being automatically directed to the cart or the checkout page, a sidebar cart or a cart drawer, as they're sometimes referred to, will pop up on the right-hand side so that your shoppers can see what they've added to their cart really quickly, but also continue to shop without having to navigate backwards on the site. So this is something, again, that's really easy to put onto your store, both in Shopify and in WordPress. There are just settings that you can go into your admin settings and enable or disable this option. And then there are also plugins if you prefer to make it a little more stylized or look a little different than the standard that is provided with your store. So we ran this test, adding the sidebar cart or the drawer instead of directing straight to the cart. Increases engagement with your site and increases your average order values. It encourages people to shop more and makes it a lot easier for them. So this particular test actually increased products added to cart by 35% just because it was easier for them to shop and continue to shop more. Second, we're going to talk about the persistent cart. So what this is when a shopper is shopping on one device, whether it's their phone or their tablet or their computer, and they add certain items to their cart and then decide to come back later to complete their purchase on another device, everything that is in their cart from that previous session will be saved in their cart, no matter if they come back on the same device or another device, if they are logged into the same accounts. So this makes it really easy for those shoppers to finish their purchase without having to go back through the site and re-add everything to their cart. And when users do have to do something like that, it sometimes makes them not add the same things. They might not add as many products as they had added before. And this makes it just really easy for them to hop back on, complete that purchase without any barriers. So doing this increased completed orders on this site by 13%. So this is really easy to add to. There's plugins for both WordPress and Shopify that you can easily integrate into your site here on these buttons. Upsells in your cart are another great way to drive up average order value. There are many different ways that you can implement these in your cart too. One great way that I've seen recently is adding in the upsells as kind of already added items. So here you'll see in this screenshot that these upsells already have been added to the total. The total here you see $400. That's the total for all 4 of these items, even though only the one item that you see on the left-hand side is the item that the shopper selected. The rest of the items are recommended, frequently bought together items that the store has provided with check boxes that you can easily select or unselect and decide whether or not you want to buy these products together. But it shows you that total price and it makes the customer feel as if they've already decided to buy those. So the price goes down with each one that they select, increasing their ability to decide to just purchase one or the other. And then it's easy just to add those all to the cart with the emphasized button there that says add all to cart. This is something that you'll see a lot on Amazon. A lot of stores on Amazon implement this, and it really does drive up average order values. There's plugins. I included a couple of different plugins for Shopify. So Shopify has one here and another one here, and then there's also a plugin for WordPress. So cart abandonment, that's a big issue, as I talked about at the beginning of this video. And so one great way to combat that is to get back in touch with your shoppers right after they abandon their cart and then at frequent intervals after that. And there are a couple different ways that you can do that. A popular option that's been emerging is the Facebook Messenger opt-in autoresponder. So when a customer adds an item to their cart, they can automatically opt in to get Facebook Messenger reminders on that item if they end up not purchasing it. And this is kind of inconspicuous. It goes on the product detail page, and most shoppers don't realize that it's there. It's automatically checked. The checkbox is automatically selected so that when a user adds an item to their cart, they're automatically opted into those reminder emails. And then later on, if they don't complete their purchase, you can send reminder messages straight to their Facebook Messenger account saying, hey, it looks like you left this item behind, don't forget to purchase it. And then you can follow up at frequent intervals after that, reminding them again about the product or if there's any sales going on with that product in the future. So when we added this option, it ended up increasing add to carts by 12.67%, which is kind of just a coincidence because it really doesn't affect add to carts, but it increased product orders by 11%. Again, there are a couple different plugins that I like for this option on Shopify, and then one plugin for WordPress. The fifth optimization in this week's blueprint is auto-updating the promo bar. So in a lot of stores, you'll see that there are free shipping thresholds. So in that banner at the top, it'll say free shipping on orders over $100 or something like that. If you are using a free shipping threshold, a good idea is to make sure that that promo bar auto updates every time a customer adds something to their cart so that they know how much they have left to spend before they get to that free shipping offer. This will encourage them to keep shopping, encourage them to add more things to their cart, and kind of make it more engaging for them. They will feel like they've really earned that prize at the end, and it'll make them more likely to complete their purchase ultimately. So here you'll see it starts out with free shipping on over $100, and then as an item is added to the cart, it decreases the amount, and right here you'll see only $14 left to get free shipping, and then it prompts the customer to keep shopping. This particular store, adding the smart promo bar increased revenue per user by almost 30 cents, and then that's like over 100% better on this store. And then the average order value and total revenue also went up. Plugins here for Shopify and WordPress. Offering different purchase options can also be a great way to make sure that you close on that order. People have different preferences for how they buy things, and if they are used to checking out with PayPal or checking out with Apple Pay, and then they come to your store and figure out that you don't offer that option, they may end up not completing their purchase because they cannot check out in the way that they prefer. So testing different checkout options like the PayPal or Apple Pay buttons might increase your conversion rates if your customers do prefer to check out in those ways. And these, again, are really easy to add. Most Shopify and WordPress stores just have these options directly in your admin. You can go in and select add purchase channels and decide which ones you want to provide and which ones you don't. Reviews and customer images. So we talked about this last week on the product detail page blueprint. And the reason that these are so important is that they do drive that social proof. When people see that other customers have had a good experience with you and had such a good experience with you that they were willing to leave a review, it helps them feel more comfortable and more excited about also purchasing that product. Now, they may or may not have seen these reviews on the past page, on the product detail page where they added the item to their cart, but adding these reviews to the cart page just really drives that message home, and it keeps the customer excited throughout the entire purchase process. When they see these reviews in front of their face in the cart, it just reminds them how great the product is and how happy other customers have been about the product, and it encourages them to continue to click on that checkout button. We implemented this on a store, and it increased overall revenue by 16%. You can also remove sign-in requirements. Now, this is a big one. As many as 37% of online shoppers cite their biggest reason as not completing their purchase is because they were required to create an account. Users expect convenience. They don't expect having to go through a whole bunch of steps in order to complete their purchase. They just want to add it to their cart and buy it. So when they are met with this requirement, when they go to their cart and it says you need to create an account in order to check out, a lot of people will bounce. They don't want to do that. They don't want to have an account with you. They just want the item. So if they're met with this requirement, it can be a huge barrier to your sales, and it's going to have a huge impact on your conversion rate. So just go ahead and remove that sign-in requirement. Allow your customers to check out as a guest, or just put that email address capture bar directly on the checkout page so that they don't even have to select checkout as guest. One less step means one less option or one less opportunity for those customers to leave you. So putting everything on as few pages as possible and removing that checkout requirement or that account creation requirement will help your conversion rates in the long run. Again, this is really easy just to remove it. You don't need a plugin or any special code. You can just go into your admin settings and allow or disallow customers to create accounts. Urgency messaging is another thing that we talked about last week on the product detail pages, but it's just as important to include this on your cart pages too. When people are on their carts, they need to have that extra push, that extra motivation to click that proceed to checkout button. So one of the best urgency messaging options that you can place on your cart is letting them know that their cart is going to expire or this price will not last forever. So in this particular example, we have your cart will expire in so many minutes. I think it starts here at 10 minutes. The screenshot captured it at 8 minutes. You can set this to whatever you want. But we had your cart will expire in 10 minutes, and then it counts down every minute to make them feel like they're going to miss out on something. You can make this less or more minutes. You can also show seconds to increase that urgency feeling. When we implemented this, it increased conversion rates by almost 9%. And this is, again, really easy. I included the same plugins from last week for urgency messaging for both Shopify and WordPress. And finally, exit intent pop-ups. So you've seen these before, I'm sure. They are a great way to make sure that customers create or complete that purchase during the same session. When they see a freebie or a message that says, wait, if you purchase now before you leave, you can get an additional however much off of your purchase, they are more likely to just go ahead and complete that purchase. A lot of people might think that they can come back and complete their purchase later. Maybe you can put some sort of urgency messaging in your pop-up, say, wait, this price won't be available forever, or wait, there's only 5 of these left in stock, are you sure you want to leave? Something like that, in order to drive your customer to just go ahead and complete that purchase before leaving. It gives them that one last chance, and they have to complete one last action before deciding to leave your site. And these things, they do work if you make them stylized enough and put the right offer. You will have to test different offers to see which one works best for your audience. And again, there's a plugin that works for both Shopify and WordPress in this instance. So go ahead and click through on that, and it'll guide you through creating these stylized exit intent pop-ups. So those are all 10 of the blueprints for this week. And we'll go ahead and walk through a live test setup now in Convert. So this is Convert. This is one of the higher end A/B testing softwares that you can decide to use for your clients. And I recommend this A/B testing software for clients who have a lot more volume going on in their site. There are a lot of cheaper and easier, more beginner level softwares that we've gone through during past blueprints that I think are a lot better for smaller or just starting out stores. But if you do have larger clients or you have yourself larger volume and larger sales on your store, Convert might be right for you. And we'll walk through this. So this is what it looks like when you are in your Convert dashboard. You'll see here all the tests that you currently have running, and they are marked whether or not they are active, paused, completed, draft, etc., as well as kind of an overview of how that test is doing. So in order to create a new test, you can go ahead and click here, Create New Experience, and just name it whatever you want. We're going to go ahead and click Add extra info. That's the test we're going to be running today. And then the URL. Let's see. Got to go ahead and grab that URL. Oops. All right, go ahead and add that URL in there and then select which kind of test you are running. So in this case, we're just going to be setting up a simple A/B test. And you can go ahead and click Continue to Create Experience. Once you click that, what is going to open is the page editor. It's going to show you a preview of the page of the URL that you entered, and it's going to bring up all of your editing options. So this is the page, this is the shopping cart that we are going to be editing, and the test that we're going to be setting up today is we are going to be adding in additional information, kind of like reviews to this page. So it's really simple to make changes and Convert. What we're going to do, we want to add these reviews or this additional information to the bottom of the page. So we want to add it to this element right here. So we're just going to click this element and we're going to click Insert HTML. And we want it at the end or at the bottom. So we're going to click Into Selected Element at the end. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to paste in You're going to paste in the HTML that you want to go into that section. So in order to grab this, we're going to go ahead and go to the URL that we need to get the HTML from. And what we want to enter right here, we want to put this whole section on that page. We want to put the About the Content Providers. So they may or may not have already seen this when they added this item to their cart, but we're going to add it to the cart too. So in lieu of reviews, since this site does not have reviews, we're going to add the additional information about content providers just to create that additional trust. So in order to get the custom HTML for this section, all you have to do is right-click anywhere on the page and click View Page Source. And it'll bring up the entire HTML page source for that page. And in order to find this section about the content providers, we're just going to search for About Content Providers in here. So you will see that that section starts right here. It actually starts right here with this div element. And we are just going to select all of this entire section, all the way down to where it ends, which is right here. And you can see that is the last ending div element. That's how we know where it ends. And we're just going to copy that. And we are going to go back to the test setup and go ahead and paste that directly into this box and click Save Changes. And it just pops up right there. So these images, they'll show up on the live site right now. They're not showing up in the editor, but they're there. And this is exactly what we wanted to do. We just wanted to add About Content Providers to this page so that the shopper had an additional opportunity to see that information before they check out. And so once you've made all the changes that you want to the page and convert, you can go ahead and click up here, click continue. And what it's going to do is open up your experience summary. So basically this test is already set up. You can go ahead and set it live anytime you want, but you can also make changes to it. So in this experience summary, this is where you can change your goals. So right now, the goal for this test is to decrease the bounce rate, which that's a great goal for the cart. But if we wanted it to be something else, we can come in here and click a different goal. Visits to the thank you page is a great goal for something like this, or completed checkout. We actually want to do completed checkout. So we'll go ahead and activate that and deactivate the rest of these. Oops. And click Save Changes. Okay. So right now it has decreased bounce rate as the primary goal and completed checkout as a secondary. We actually want completed checkout to be the primary goal, so we'll go ahead and click this thumbnail right here to make this goal primary, and then we can go ahead and deactivate this. So we just want to check completed checkouts here. And we'll click Save Changes. So now this test is going to track towards completed checkouts, and it will count the winner as the one with the highest percentage of completed checkouts. In this section, you can also change your audience, who you are targeting. Right now, we are targeting all visitors. But if you want to target different visitors, say you just want to target desktop visitors, mobile visitors, visitors from a particular source that you're doing a campaign with, anything like that, you can go ahead and click here at Edit Audiences and select which audience that you want to do. You can go ahead and add a saved audience, a new audience, or a preset. We want to run this test to all visitors, so we're just going to go ahead and click Save Changes and leave that as it is. You can also come down here and make any changes that you need to the site area or the settings. So if you accidentally entered in the wrong URL, or you want to add additional URLs to this test, you can go ahead and add those in there. And then in the settings, you have the option to change things like the confidence level, when you will automatically select a winner, how long you want this test to run, and how much of traffic you want this test distributed to. So for instance, if you only want to run this test to 50% of your traffic, you can go ahead and enter that in there. You can change the confidence level, that you only want a winner to be declared at 99% confidence. Things like that. And other things like outliers to make sure that your test is running properly, you can put those in there. And then you can go ahead and click Save. And then when you're ready to launch this, you can go ahead and click Activate Experience. And once your experience is activated, it will show up here under your experiences dashboard like we showed at the beginning of this, and it'll say active. So when an experience is active and running live, you can go ahead and click in to view how it is performing by coming over here and clicking Go to Experiment Report. And this is what your experiment report will look like once you have a live experiment running on your site. So it'll stay here, it'll say the original versus the variation. It'll tell you what the conversion rate is for that goal that you set up, as well as the improvement, the confidence level, and how many visitors and conversions you are getting to each variation. There are more detailed statistics down here where you can see additional goals. So your first one, your conversion rate for that main goal will show up here. And if you are tracking any additional secondary goals, you can see those in the subsequent columns, as well as revenue per visitor, total revenue, and things like that that show up for all goals when you have that tracking. And that is pretty much it, guys. That is how you set up an experiment and convert, and that is how you look at your results. And I hope that that made sense to you guys. So that is all that we have for this week. Thanks you guys again for joining me for week 6 of the Conversion Hacking Challenge, and I hope that you found some value in the cart design and checkout design tests that we walked through. Let me know which one was your favorite and which one you guys decide to implement on your own stores. I love to see those results and how these things are working for you. Thanks again. Bye, guys.